The young man you see in the photo is named Mohamed. One day he was sitting with his friends at a local cafe when he suddenly told them, "I'm going to buy something and be right back." But he never returned. His phone went off and no one could reach him. A day passed, then another. And after 5 long days, a shocking revelation surfaced when the surveillance footage was reviewed. The cameras revealed that the last place Mohamed was seen was the same street. And after that, he simply vanished. How could someone disappear from a public street without being noticed? Welcome to a new episode of Crime Scene. Our story begins with Mohamed El Sawab, a 20-year-old young man living in the Mataria district with his mother, who works as a manager at a wedding hall in the 6th of October club, and his father, a retired butcher. He had an older brother serving in the army and a younger sister. Mohamed worked alongside his mother at the hall, wore a suit every day, and accompanied her to work. He was a handsome, athletic, and beloved young man, deeply committed to staying healthy, even while battling cancer. Thankfully, he was able to manage the illness successfully. Out of nobility, he avoided relationships, feeling uncertain about his future. His bond with his mother was strong. Even when they had minor disagreements, he never left home. He would simply isolate himself briefly, then come back to reconcile. Then came Friday, August 16th, 2024. That night, Mohamed hung out with his friends at the cafe. He wasn't working at the time, as wedding events had paused. After the gathering, he returned home and slept. He later woke up in the afternoon, visited his mother at her workplace, then told her he was heading back home to rest before going out again with his friends. He did exactly that, left the house and joined 6 of his friends at the cafe. At 11:30 p.m., he called his mother to check in, telling her they had just ordered food. She responded, "When you're done, come to your grandmother's house. We'll continue the evening there and I'll cook your favorite meal." He agreed. But after that call, something unthinkable happened. Mohamed never made it to his grandmother's house. He never came home. His mother, assuming his phone had died, as it often did, wasn't too worried at first. Maybe he had come back and gone straight to sleep. But the next morning, he wasn't there, and she hadn't received any messages from him. By Sunday evening, Mohamed's friends called his brother Ahmed saying, "He was with us last night, then went out to buy something, and never came back." At first, Ahmed wasn't alarmed. Maybe Mohamed stayed over at a friend's house. But when he called their mother, she said she hadn't seen him since the previous night, and thought he was in his room the entire time. Ahmed tried to calm her down, suggesting that Mohamed may have traveled with someone, or simply left his phone turned off. But a mother's instinct doesn't lie. Something was deeply wrong. She posted his photo on Facebook and wrote, "Mohamed has been missing since 11 p.m. last night. If anyone sees him, please contact this number." She started calling all the friends who were with him that night, only to discover something deeply troubling. Each one gave her a different story about when and how Mohamed left. One said he went to get food. Another claimed he went to buy cigarettes. A third said he headed home. It was as if they were hiding something, or refusing to tell the truth. Strangely, all of Mohamed's friends showed concern about his disappearance, except one, Mustafa. Mustafa wasn't among the 6 friends who were with Mohamed that night, but he was his closest friend, a childhood companion he met at a PlayStation cafe 5 years ago. Mohamed often hung out at Mustafa's house with their circle of friends. Mustafa worked as an accountant and lived with his parents in a 2-story home. Everyone knew about their close bond. Just days before Mohamed vanished, they were on a yacht trip together in Ain Sokna. Mohamed had returned from that trip in great spirits, telling his mother how much fun he'd had. Oddly, Mustafa shared the Facebook post about Mohamed's disappearance and commented, "He'll be fine, God willing." But he never called the family, never checked in, and even turned off his phone completely. Sunday passed like an eternity, with no trace of Mohamed. His mother couldn't bear the agony anymore. She went to the police station and filed an official missing person report. She told the officers that her son had been sitting with friends at the cafe, then vanished, and none of his friends had a clear explanation. The investigation began. Police attempted to track his phone, but it had been off for days. Leads were scarce. until Tuesday arrived. That day, a dedicated police officer took it upon himself to visit the street where Mohamed was last seen. He entered one of the local shops that had surveillance cameras. Looking Mohamed's mother in the eyes, he said with conviction, "I'm not leaving here until I bring your son back." The police officer kept reassuring everyone, "Don't worry. God willing, we'll find him." For hours, he examined the surveillance footage until his eyes caught something critical. Mohamed was seen leaving the cafe, accompanied by a young girl, possibly a neighbor. Then, he was seen walking back into the same street, and after that, he completely vanished. That scene raised serious suspicion. The street where Mohamed was last seen had several exits, so the officer decided to review the other cameras around the area, hoping for a new lead. But what he discovered was even more alarming. Mohamed had never left the street. It was as if the earth had opened up and swallowed him whole. This discovery matched his mother's gut feeling. She kept repeating, "My son is still here. He never left the street." And then came the strange twists. An elderly woman claimed she saw Mohamed being abducted by a group of young men. They forced him into a car and drove off toward El Obor district. No one took her seriously. They thought she was imagining things or spreading rumors. But just hours later, Mohamed's mother received a mysterious phone call. A stranger asked, "Is your son's name Mohamed?" She replied, "Yes." He said, "A group of guys kidnapped him. I saw them and managed to get him back. He's now safe at my house." She pleaded for his address, but he told her he'd send someone in the evening after finishing work. He asked her to meet him at El Obor market. Mohamed's father rushed there at the appointed time. When he arrived and called the man, he was shocked by the response. "Send me a reward payment first, then I'll give you the address." That was the moment the father realized it was a scam. A man exploiting the family's desperation after seeing the story on Facebook. Authorities confirmed the call was a fraud. More strange calls followed. One even claimed Mohamed was being held in a police station. But when the family rushed to check, they found it was just a case of mistaken identity. By now, pressure and fear were mounting. Mohamed's mother was falling apart. The confusion deepened, especially with one haunting fact. Mohamed never left that street. So where was he? Could he really have been kidnapped? Or was something even darker being hidden? On the fourth day of Mohamed's disappearance, the police officer returned to the street around noon. He resumed examining camera footage with sharp focus. Meanwhile, Mohamed's brother Ahmed noticed something strange. All of Mohamed's friends had come to the house to check on the family, to help, to ask questions. All except one, Mustafa. Mustafa, Mohamed's closest friend, was completely absent. His phone was off. No one could reach him. Ahmed told the officer. It sparked suspicion. The officer decided to head to Mustafa's house. Mustafa's father welcomed the officer warmly, unaware that suspicion was circling his son. Though the officer didn't have a warrant, he politely asked to look around, and the father agreed. Upstairs, a strong smell of bleach filled the air, especially in the living room and kitchen. The officer sensed something was wrong and rushed back to request a search warrant. His superior hesitated. "Bleach isn't proof," but the officer insisted and got it. A full police team searched the house. 20 minutes in, two chilling discoveries. A bloodstain hidden beneath the living room rug, and fresh cement in the kitchen floor. The house was evacuated. An hour later, digging began in the second-floor kitchen. Soon, a body was found. Mohamed's body, decomposing beneath the tiles. Mustafa and his father were arrested. Faced with the evidence, they confessed. Mustafa claimed it was an accident. He said he'd invited Mohamed upstairs to show him a gun, his father's. He loaded one bullet, but accidentally fired it into Mohamed's stomach. Mohamed died within a minute. Panicking, Mustafa called his father. They considered calling the police, but the father refused. "Mohamed's family will destroy us." The case is still open, and though the body was buried, the truth remains hidden.